My book Above is about a girl who's abducted when she's 16 years old from her childhood home in Eudora, Kansas. It's in the middle of nowhere. Nothing ever bad happens in her town. She's taken to an abandoned missile silo by a survivalist who believes he's saving her from the end of the world. He believes that some apocalypse is impending and that he's going to keep her there until that time when they can rise above and populate the new world together. Blythe is kept in captivity for 17 years, and this is a story about her struggle not only to survive but to reinvent what it means to be free and to find hope and to rise above her situations. One of the big themes that I was interested in exploring in Above is the nature of freedom and what it means to be free. In the beginning of the story, Blythe's freedom obviously is about escaping. It's about getting out of her geographical confines and returning to her family. But as the story unfolds, freedom becomes very different things for her. This is part of her reinvention of herself. It's a part of claiming her selfhood as opposed to just being the abducted girl. I was completely appalled by the situation of Elizabeth Fritzl, who lived in Belgium, and she was abducted by her father when she was a teenager, and he kept her for 24 years in the cellar in a warren of tunnels under the house that he had prepared for her. That story, not so much the abduction aspect, but that she had to raise children in that confinement, was the thing that really inspired me to write Above. I immediately thought of what I would do if I was in that situation, in an isolated situation, raising my child. How would I give my child a sense of hope and a sense of joy? Would I tell my child the full truth, or would I seek to protect my child by withholding truths or even creating a fable about the world? The whole idea of creating a myth as opposed to telling the full truth as a way of sacrificing for the benefit of another was really part of the driving force of writing the story. I had surgery on my throat, and the surgeon inadvertently severed the vagus nerve, which is the main nerve that innervates one of the vocal cords. So in effect, I became a mute. There was a very high likelihood that I would not get my voice back. In the midst of this, I was writing about Blythe being in the confines of a silo. And for myself as a writer, I spend many hours isolating myself, but that is a silence I choose for myself. But this was a silence that was imposed, and for me it was very isolating. And that sense of isolation that I had really governed the story. I think the silence helps Blythe realize that she has to redefine herself, that she can't listen to the voices that are in her head and that she feels that are surrounding her, and she can't let her captor be the only one who speaks. So part of my understanding of that time of self-imposed silence was to help Blythe realize that she had a voice and that she had to speak it into that darkness and into that isolation in order to survive.